Hey, so a couple years ago, I had a special day where I rediscovered my soul. I got up early and exercised for once and ate healthily and had a super productive day at work and rediscovered some old joys. I talked to old friends I hadn't talked to in years. I played guitar for once. I practiced foreign languages and I went to bed early, and it was a wonderful, happy day. And what made it so special? It was the fact that I had started an experiment as a scientist on myself to see what would happen if I went a week without any sort of recreational screen use. So tell me, change it. Do these people seem full of soul right now? I certainly don't think so. Now, what am I doing here? If I'm a neuroscientist and a cognitive performance specialist, why would I talk about something so abstract as the soul? Well, it's because I'm tired, personally, of seeing lovers and friends and students and just hunched over on their phone instead of interacting with each other. And I'm tired of going to bed at 2 a.m. when I meant to go to bed at midnight, but I got stuck looking at social media for 10 minutes, which turned into hours. And I'm tired of seeing my kids not knowing how to explore and play and find joy because they just want to watch a show. And I'm even more tired of those same kids saying, "Daddy, Daddy, look at what I'm doing. Daddy, pay attention to me," essentially. Look at this, play with us. And me having to kind of wake up and realize, oh, I wasn't giving them any attention. I was just working on my laptop. I was basically not there. I might as well not have been there. And it probably seems like I care about my little glowing box more than I care about them. I'm also tired of helping clients who have struggles with apathy, sleep, memory struggles, focus struggles, mental health struggles, discipline problems, maybe confidence issues leading to relationship troubles, academic and job struggles, exhaustion, overwhelm, burnout, and an overall reduction of joyful, soulful living. Because so often with these clients, it, it comes back to one thing, which is that their digital media exposure and habits are contributing to all these different problems, and we end up working on them because they're that important. Now, I'm not anti-tech because I use AI all the time. I use screens all the time. It's a wonderful tool when we use it as such. What I am against is exploitation. I'm against the cultural norm that we see all the time, where instead of the digital tech being a tool to serve us, we become the tool and we serve it. I'm against losing control of our behaviors and emotions and thoughts and even beliefs because of them being influenced by people who stand to profit from controlling us. And I want to use digital tech as just a tool to benefit us, but it doesn't always happen. And it's like if you had a hammer that you used every day and you became so attached to it that you can't leave the room without it. You talk about it all the time. You sleep with it. Maybe your friends are trying to talk to you and you're just focused on your hammer. Maybe you even like fondle your hammer while you're eating dinner and you're just absolutely obsessed with this thing, this tool. But it's consuming you. And as Bradley thankfully gave me this wonderful introduction, this is very alike to how the British controlled the Chinese with their opium imports and that deliberate campaign to get them hooked. And this was not because the Chinese were, hedonistic or weak-willed or anything. It's because they knew how to manipulate their brains, and so they did. And so what I'm trying to do is to build a movement that is against this manipulation, against this exploitation of our minds and our brains and our souls. Now, I needed a name for this. Oops, we don't need that. Because really, the question is, what are they doing to us exactly? There's a lot of names that people give it, from digital burnout, brain fog, doom scrolling, digital amnesia. Some people refer to it in terms of addiction and dependencies. And there is, since addiction is on a spectrum, there is a lot of overlap with addiction, clinical addiction. But I chose the term brain rot because that was Oxford's 2024 word of the year. Isn't that telling? And it encompasses all these different struggles. This is my definition: the acute or gradual self-reinforcing deterioration of a person's cognitive, intellectual, social, emotional, or motivational state or abilities because of all the online crap that we're exposed to and that we are manipulated to do. And this is so pervasive and invasive, breadth and depth, that I believe that, speaking in terms of things that we can actually control, that it is the single most influential threat to the human soul. That's a broad claim, a bold claim. And so let's talk a little about why I think that. I'll break down kind of the things that make up the human soul and how they're affected by our digital culture. And I expect you'll be able to intuitively sense that some of these are true. But the research also supports these either directly or by inferentially. There's abundant research that gets overwhelming, honestly, which I'm happy to talk about some other time, but I would need hours for that. Let's talk about the human soul as our bodies, first of all, the physical aspect. Well, it's no surprise that digital media negatively influences aspects of our sleep, our activity and exercise, our diet, our energy, our weight, and several other measures that just get worse the more time we spend on our screens. Those are pretty obvious. This one's a little more nuanced because there are some ways that some digital media can help some aspects of people's cognitive abilities some of the time. But I'm going to just give you a sense of what is the overall average net effect. In terms of mental abilities, it's known to decrease our decision-making abilities. It decreases our reward processing and health because it rewires your mesolimbic pathways in your brain that are your motivational centers. It changes your motivation, not in a good way. It reduces perseverance. It reduces memory, creativity, curiosity, and focus. That's no surprise, right? We've all seen that. Now, what about our presence? You can't really do anything unless you're present. You can't learn, you can't connect, you can't feel joy. Unfortunately, digital media makes these aspects worse as well. Mindfulness goes down the tank, self-mastery, school and workplace output because people are so distracted. Then we can talk about the human soul as our connection. Technically, pun intended, we're more connected than we have ever been before, but not to our brains. Your brain cares about actual physical connection, when you can touch somebody, when you can see their reactions, when you can hear their tone of voice. There's many things that our brain craves and needs to actually get the neurotransmitter release that makes us feel like we are connected to people. And it doesn't happen digitally. And so no wonder that there are a dozen different relational issues that come about because of this digital culture. And there's also a growing loneliness epidemic that can be explained by all these different changes. Next, the human soul as our feelings and our joy. It's so hard when you're just zoned out on a phone and disconnected to feel anything, let alone positive, visceral feelings like joy and excitement. And so plenty of mental health problems are caused, as I believe a couple of our presenters have mentioned, that is a growing epidemic as well. And if we zoom out to broader aspects of life satisfaction, we know that there's decreases in all of those as well. And to wrap this up, the human soul as our agency. This is a core tenet of Mormon theology, as well as just American values, I would say. But the problem is that digital media is designed to take this away. It's designed to reduce critical thinking and independent thought. It's designed to reduce our ability to choose how we think, feel, and act. Now, this is a lot. and it's heavy. And if you experience even just a little fraction of this, then you know that this is a serious detriment to your life. You might be wondering how many of these are actually happening in your life. Well, I'm going to make this question, answering this question, easy for you, because at the end I'll have a link you can use for a assessment that helps reveal if you have patterns of brain rot in your own life. Now, even if a fraction of what I've said is true, then it's clear that this is not equal to that. Digital obsession is not equal to joy. In fact, I would say they're antithetical. Nor is it to rest. Despite what they would have you believe, they want you to believe that you just going home and plopping on the couch and starting to scroll or watch a show is going to be a great way to spend your evening and feel more relaxed for the next day. The problem is that that's not true. How many of you have ever spent 2 hours or more on a screen and then you end up just as like feeling as crappy and exhausted as you felt at the beginning? Raise your hand if you've experienced that. Your friend, yeah. It's all your friends, right? Good one. Well, we all have tons of friends that have been on the negative side of this where we're trying to rest, but it doesn't work. And that's because screens are actually reducing our ability to renew our minds. They are not good at it. They physically, they interrupt our sleep, our exercise, our nutrition. Mentally, they stimulate your brain with lights and colors and sounds and movements and information overload. Emotionally, they're meant to get a rise out of you. They're not meant to keep you calm. Socially, they require perspective taking if you're trying to do it in a good way. They make you constantly think about what other people are thinking and doing. And spiritually, it just brings this darkness into our mood. And so that's why the tool, if we're considering digital media as a tool, this tool is not meant for this job. If the job is relaxation and recharge, we're using the wrong tool for the job. Better tools, by the way, are just following this principle. Rest only what needs resting. If you have a physically exhausting day, you don't actually have to go home and turn off your brain. You could actually go home and mentally challenge yourself. Or if you have a mentally exhausting day, maybe you go listen to music and get out some emotions. If you're emotionally drained, maybe you just play games with a friend, keep it light. If you're socially drained, then maybe you go and pray and read scriptures on your own. If you're spiritually exhausted, maybe you go for a run. We just need to rest what needs resting. And in the middle, by the way, do you think it's digital media that improves all of these? Nope, it's sleep. If you are just dead, the best solution is to go sleep, and that will recover all of these. Now, if you can't imagine being long without screens, that's a huge red flag that they've already hijacked your brain. It's time to just rediscover how much joy we can feel when we put them away, like I did in my experiment. And so I'm going to give you this guide, and I'd like to invite you to try something. Try an experiment on yourself. Are you willing to do this with me? Where you simply replace some of your recreational screen time with activities that bring actual recharge, activities that are more healthy and happy and soulful. Who's willing to do that experiment? Can I get a raise of hands if you're willing to try this? Okay. When you do, you will notice an improvement. You'll notice you discover joys that you didn't have before. You'll notice that some of these things maybe start to fade. I am convinced that digital media is shrinking our souls. And the solution is to become more deliberate with how we use it. It's not to get rid of it completely, but it's to use it as a tool that we are in control of. That we use that tool in ways that it is meant to be used, not in ways that it doesn't work, like Renewal. It doesn't work for that. That we use it in deliberate ways in terms of what we're doing and when and why and how. We can deliberately choose all these things so that it becomes a tool for us and we stop being a tool for it. And as we do that, we can shift ourselves and our entire culture from this back to true joy like this. Thank you.